Convicted felon accused of killing a young father in a possible road rage shooting is scheduled to face a judge this morning. 28-year-old Carlos Chavez is currently being held without bond because of his criminal history. KPRC2 reporter Bryce Newberry is live outside the Criminal Justice Center in downtown Houston. Bryce.
Hey, Zach, good morning. Yeah, we're going to get a decision, hopefully, from the judge in this case, Judge Josh Hill, later on this morning about whether or not to continue holding Carlos Chavez without bond. Because in this case, there's kind of a trifecta of criteria that have been met. Chavez is a twice convicted felon, and at the time of this murder that he's now accused in, of course, a violent crime involving a gun, he was out on 4 felony bonds, according to court records. So this is what's called an 11A hearing, and it's pretty rare. We don't see it very often in some of the cases that come through Harris County, but because of this suspect's past and now this violent crime that he's accused in, prosecutors have asked for him to continue to be held without bond. And what's important to note here is that these have to happen within 7 days of the arrest. And of course, with the holiday coming up, there's a little bit of a rush to get this hearing done to decide whether or not Chavez can be held at least for the next 60 days without bond. And so Chavez just got arrested on Friday. He spent the weekend in jail. He got charged last Thursday, but this is all connected to a possible road rage shooting that happened earlier this month, back on November 7th. We do have some photos of the victim in this case, 23-year-old Jadrian Edwards. He was driving down Beechnut Street, and then his car ended up in the parking lot of a Wells Fargo bank, just completely riddled with bullets. His front passenger got hurt, and then in the back seat he had a female in the back with him, but he also had his 5-month-old baby girl. She is okay, thankfully, but she ended up with glass and blood sprayed all over her when this happened. And so there are 2 charges that Chavez is now facing connected to this. Of course, murder because Edwards was killed. He died there at the scene. And then also aggravated assault because of the passenger that had to be rushed to the hospital. We have been speaking with Edwards' family about this. Of course, we learned just on Friday that when they identified Chavez as the suspect in this case, we learned that he was out on bond. That did not sit well with the family of Edwards. And we also have been speaking with crime victim advocates. You've heard from Andy Kahn at Crime Stoppers before, and he really says that the system failed this family. Take a listen.
He should have never been on the streets. And if you let him go free this time, he's already murdered someone. I'm a mother without a child. Would he want to walk around without his children?
This was so utterly preventable. This was somebody who clearly had a propensity to commit violent acts.
So, Zach, those are some really strong words, of course, from the family as well as Andy Kahn, the crime victim advocate. I understand that the family is supposed to be inside for this hearing that we're getting ready to head inside for as well.
Bryce, before we let you go, I understand police used a lot of technology in order to catch Chavez. What do we know about this technology?
Yeah, a lot of technology had to go into this. I can tell you just from being out at that scene that night, police really didn't know where the shooting happened because, like I said, the vehicle ended up riddled with bullet holes in the Wells Fargo Bank parking lot. But there were a lot of detectives that showed up to that scene, and they fanned out in every direction, really trying to figure out where everything happened. And within an hour or so of those detectives being on the scene, they were able to find at least 12 shell casings up the street. So that was kind of the first clue in all of this, but then they needed surveillance video. So a McDonald's in the area showed some video of the vehicles driving down the road, as well as a Metro bus. And those Metro buses luckily have surveillance cameras on them as well. So then they were able to use that to identify a license plate on the suspected shooter's car. And then, because of his past, they actually were able to use ankle monitor data from Chavez's ankle monitor to determine that he was believed to be in the area of that shooting when it happened back on November 7th.
Yeah, using all those tools. We mentioned his criminal history. How far back does Chavez's arrest record go?
Zach, we've been able to find mugshots for Chavez dating back all the way to 2013. He was convicted of a violent robbery in 2017 and then sentenced to 2 years in prison. In that case, according to court records, he attacked a woman outside of a cell phone store and then stole her purse. So he went to prison for 2 years for that, from what we can tell in court records. And then he has been arrested for several other times. I think I saw some drug possession charges in his record and various crimes, but nothing to the level of murder until now with this case involving Jadrian Edwards.
Okay, Bryce Newberry live for us from downtown Houston. Bryce, thank you.